Okay, welcome back to another episode of The Gray Inn. This is another session, and let's continue. We left off with Jack Keller in the back of our vehicle. I've made some instruction adjustments to this GPT, but I don't know if it will go into effect continuing, so we might have to stick out with what we have from prior. So we're basically in the car, and like where we left off, Jack Keller is in the back seat, and let's listen to see what
As you
happened.
settle into the driver's seat and toss the duffel bag onto the passenger side, a cold, familiar voice emerges from the shadows of the back seat. Well, well, Albert. Long time no see. You turn your head slowly, heart pounding, to see Jack Keller, one of your old partners from the botched bank robbery. His silhouette is faint in the dim light, but the unmistakable gleam of a gun aimed at your side is clear. You didn't think you could run forever, did you? Jack's voice is calm, but there's a dangerous edge to it. Now, how about we have a little chat about that money you took? What do you do?
Okay, so my new instructions, if again they are even applied to this current conversation, don't include, they no longer include four choices. It's just what do you do at the end of each response. So, what do we do here? Since the last episode, I was thinking, what if this is a supernatural phenomenon? Something that we pissed off a certain deity after throwing the plans of the cult of whoever the god was, or the Cthulhu mythos creature from the cosmos. This creature, this cosmic being, is just messing with our mind, thinking that the Jack Keller is in the car. Like, how did he get inside the car? So let's figure out a response here. Based on the four choices, we can try to talk your way out of the situation. That's a fast talk check, which we know we don't have a good roll on, and I have increased the prior stats from the last session. To grab the gun or disarm, we can try that. That actually might be interesting because if we pull the gun on him and we're trying to grab him, it turns out he's an illusion, or he's not there. Slowly start the car, keep calm while planning your next move. Offer a share memory and defuse the situation. That probably won't work. So, let's see. Is the gun currently aimed right at my back? I'm surprised I passed the policy check.
Yes, the gun is aimed directly at your back, angled slightly upward. Jack's position in the rear seat and the close quarters of the car
Mm,
give him a clear shot,
yeah.
making any sudden movement risky.
So I think two might be, even though two is an option, it's probably the one of the more riskier choices. So let's see. We can do a hack, which is in my new instructions where I hack the narrative, basically influencing it. I want to hack the narrative where Jack Keller is actually an illusion, a mind trick from the Cthulhu mythos cosmic creature that we pissed off after messing with the cult ritual. So I am only seeing an illusion of Jack Keller. However, I do not know that yet. What can I roll to see if this is indeed the real Jack Keller? If that all makes sense. Psychology.
To determine if what you're seeing is an illusion or mind trick, roll psychology to analyze Jack's behavior for inconsistencies, or spot hidden to notice physical details that might give away the illusion. Alternatively, roll sanity to sense a deeper, unnatural influence affecting your perception.
My sanity is
Let me know
65.
which roll you choose.
So psychology, let's see, which one has the most advantage? 30 for psychology, so pretty low. Spot hidden has been used quite often, it's about halfway. Sanity is our highest. I think sanity might be. Let's try sanity. Haven't done that yet. So, oh, that's right. I'm actually using real dice compared to just clicking um, the character sheet. So the D10. our D100, and then our D10 here on the side. Okay, so rolling 65 or less. 14, so that's a success. Rolled a success on sanity. This is a sanity roll. Okay, it does have the choices, so this is the previous instructions. That's fine.
As Jack's shadowy figure looms in the back seat, his gun unwavering, a cold shiver creeps up your spine. Something feels wrong. The edges of his form flicker faintly, as though the dim light and shadows are bending unnaturally around him. His voice has a distorted undertone, echoing faintly in your ears, even though you're in the enclosed space of your car. You realize with chilling certainty, this isn't Jack Keller. It's a trick, a warped illusion, likely from the cosmic forces tied to the cult ritual you interrupted. The creature's influence is lingering, and it's trying to manipulate your mind. What do? 1. Confront the illusion directly, demanding to know what it wants. 2. Attempt to shake it off by focusing on reality check. 3. Ignore it entirely and start the car, focusing on getting away. 4. Use the leather-bound book to see if it contains any information or countermeasures.
Still have the
5.
book.
Write in.
So let's make sure I still have the book. Did I ever put that in my inventory? I don't think I did. I'm surprised. I forgot that. So, Keeper, what do I have in my inventory from the podium? Or altar? Ah, whatever.
Here's what you currently have in your inventory. 1 duffel bag
This.
contains a portion of the stolen cash, now $4,000 after earlier events.
So
2
let's.
leather-bound book, recovered from beneath the altar, soaked but intact, containing ritual details or mythos-related knowledge.
There we go.
3 keys for your Ford Explorer.
Okay, so that's what I wanted. Now, kind of going back one prompt. Let's see what to do. I do like these. I do like these options. I'm probably gonna miss that if we do another RPG in the future. Um, let's see. Attempt to shake off. Well, the power check would be 65. Confront. Let's confront the illusion. I think. Yeah, let's. What should I ask him? I ask the entity, or whoever it is, what do they want?
As you confront the shadowy illusion in your back seat, your voice steady but tense, you demand, "What do you want?" The figure of Jack Keller tilts its head unnaturally, the flickering edges of its form becoming more pronounced. Its voice twists, now deep and resonant, echoing with an otherworldly tone. "You meddle in the affairs of gods, mortal. The price must be paid. Leave what you have stolen or face oblivion." Its form begins to shift subtly, the gun in its hand melting away into writhing shadows, its face no longer fully resembling Jack's, but something grotesque and
Uh-oh.
otherworldly.
This is a sanity
What
check.
do? 1. Challenge the entity, refusing to give up the leather-bound book or anything else. 2. Attempt to reason with the entity, offering something other than the book. Persuade check. 3. Focus your will to resist its influence and assert control. POW check. 4. Throw the leather-bound book into the back seat and demand it leave you alone. 5. Write in.
Well, I think any sensible human being here would freak out and bolt out of the car. So here's what I'm gonna do. Because what we're witnessing is our first real interaction in this Call of Cthulhu RPG with an entity, with the supernatural. Not just the cult from earlier, and that was all, insane and not entirely otherworldly. This is a face value experience with the supernatural. So we have to play it by that. Because this is my first interaction with the supernatural, I'm going to freak out, bolt out of the car, run at least 20 to 30 feet away, turn around, Breathing heavily, staring at my vehicle. What do I see? Let's see if I got all that.
You bolt from the car, your heart pounding and your breath ragged as you dash through the rain, stopping about 30 feet away. Turning back, you stare at your Ford Explorer, expecting to see something unnatural spilling from its confines. Instead, the vehicle appears completely normal. No shadows writhe within, no grotesque figure lurks in the back seat. The faint glow of the interior light reveals nothing out of place. It's as if the figure of Jack and the entire interaction never happened. But deep down, you know what you experienced wasn't your imagination. Your skin crawls, the rain now feeling colder than ever. What do? 1. Cautiously approach the vehicle again to inspect it. 2. Abandon the vehicle and look for another way out of the area. 3. Attempt to steady yourself and use the leather-bound book to find answers. 4. Shout into the storm, demanding the entity leave you alone. 5. Write in.
So I have an idea here that goes back to the cult leader. Now he's presumed dead. We pushed him off, kicked him off, however we did, off of the roof, 3, 4 stories onto the ground. Now, since we witnessed a supernatural phenomenon, do we have to roll a sanity check per the 7th edition rules?
Yes, per Call of Cthulhu 7E rules,
Okay,
witnessing a supernatural phenomenon, especially one tied to the mythos,
here we go.
requires a sanity check.
So
Please roll against your current SAN and let me know the result.
temporary insanity, indefinite sanity. Yeah, so this is where things get really crazy, or can get. So we gotta roll 65 or less. 28. Okay, good. I rolled below, so a success. Nothing changes for my character?
With a successful sanity roll, your mind holds steady against the unsettling experience. While your heart races and adrenaline courses through you, you manage to rationalize the encounter, at least enough to prevent further mental deterioration. The rain continues to fall, pattering against your Ford Explorer as you stand there, catching your breath. What do?
I swear, no sponsor from Ford in this one. Alright, anyways, we approach the car cautiously. Alright, so, there was a slight twist I wanted to throw here, but not just yet. We can approach the car cautiously. I think that was what I was gonna do instead. We can't just leave the car. Everything's in there. Sit down where you are. Try to process the strange occurrence. Um, I'm going to slowly approach the car. Meanwhile, it starts to snow instead of rain. I look around the car to make sure nothing is inside except for my own belongings. That's it.
As the rain transitions into a soft snowfall, flakes swirling in the faint light, you cautiously approach the Ford Explorer. The temperature drops, your breath forming clouds in the crisp air. Each step toward the vehicle feels heavier with anticipation. You peer through the windows, carefully scanning the interior. The duffel bag remains undisturbed on the passenger seat, and the back seat is empty, just as it should be. No signs of shadows, no remnants of the figure you saw before. It's as though the encounter never happened. The eerie calm of the snowfall contrasts starkly with the lingering unease in your chest. What do you do next? 1. Get back into the vehicle, trying to shake off the experience and start driving. 2. Search the immediate area for any unusual signs or tracks in the snow. 3. Sit outside the car for a moment, grounding yourself before making your next move. 4. Pull out the leather-bound book to see if it offers an explanation for the...
It really wants you to go towards that leather-bound book. Now, AIs will do this. They want you to, at times, not all the time, but they want you to try something. I don't know what it has planned, if it can do that. But this is where I had a twist in mind. It's not really a twist, it's just kind of a shove. from a prior thread in the story, in the narrative. While I am standing outside the car looking inside, there is a adjustment in the story. A cop car circles around from the front as we are parked in the back, and out steps out one of the police officers we helped out earlier from the roof incident, and he wishes to speak to me, possibly thanking me. That's what I wanted to do. Cop car rolls in.
As you stand outside your car, scanning its interior, the quiet of the snowfall is broken by the low rumble of an approaching engine. A police cruiser slowly comes into view, circling around from the front of the Grey Inn. It stops a short distance away, and out steps one of the officers from the rooftop, the one you helped subdue the cult leader earlier. He waves cautiously as he approaches, his breath visible in the cold air. "Hey," he calls out, his tone friendly but cautious. "I've been looking for you. Just wanted to say thanks for what you did up there. Things could have gone a lot worse without your help." He stops a few feet from you, his sharp gaze flicking briefly to the duffel bag in your car before returning to meet your eyes. "Mind if we talk for a moment?" What do you do? 1. Agree to speak with him and keep the conversation casual. 2. Deflect, telling him you're in a hurry but appreciate the thanks. 3. Try to steer the conversation away from anything suspicious about your presence. 4. Act defensive, questioning why he wants to talk to you. 5. Write in.
I will slowly close my door, lean against the front of my car, possibly stop blocking the view of the duffel bag, and just ask him, what does he want? Nicely.
The officer watches as you casually lean against the front of your car, his posture relaxed but his eyes sharp. He stops a few feet away, hands resting lightly on his utility belt, and offers a small nod of acknowledgement. "Look, I just wanted to check in," he says, his tone neutral but curious. "You were a big help tonight, but, well, I couldn't help but notice you seemed eager to leave in a hurry. Can't say I blame you after what we all just went through, but is there anything I should know? Anything you're not telling us?" His words are polite, but there's an edge to them, as if he's fishing for something. The snow falls quietly around you, adding to the tension of the moment. What do you do? 1. Reassure him that you're just shaken from the night's events and want to leave. Persuade check. 2. Deflect by asking him more about what the police plan to do with the cultists. Fast talk check. 3. Tell him the truth about the supernatural encounter in the car, gauging his reaction. 4. Deflect the conversation entirely, claiming you're tired and just want to go. 5. Write in.
Now, I want to connect a dot here per my character sheet, and that is the significant person in our backstory, who is Dr. or Miss Brown. Actually, no, I'm going to change that. Edit mode. I think I meant to put Dr. Brown. Answer. I'm going to think of my significant person from the character sheet and mention my former graduate teacher, Dr. Brown, and how I'm hoping to head up north to meet them, to meet her as she is actually dying of cancer, hoping this story will work. Okay, fast talk or
Roll fast
persuade.
talk or persuade to see if your story about Dr. Brown convinces the
Persuade is
officer.
higher than fast talk. So let's roll persuade. 44 or less. 22. Okay. Oh, half the value. Oh, I gotta roll, click what I rolled successfully. And also, did I not forget to, I did forget to do that in the prior roll. Sanity we can't do. I think that was the only roll today. I think. Yeah. Sanity. Yep. I think that's our first success roll. Could be mistaken. Just want to check, retrace my steps here. Okay, so persuade success. I rolled a success on Persuade.
The officer's expression softens as you recount your story about Dr. Brown. "Ah, man, I'm sorry to hear that," he says, his tone shifting to one of genuine sympathy. "That's rough. I can't imagine what you're going through." He steps back slightly, nodding as if reassured by your explanation. "Look, I get it. If I were in your shoes, I'd want to get on the road too. Just be careful out there, all right? After everything tonight, I wouldn't blame you if you're feeling a little rattled." He offers a small, understanding smile before heading back toward his cruiser. "Safe travels, and good luck with your professor." The snow crunches under his boots as he climbs back into the patrol car, leaving you with a sense of relief as the tension begins to dissipate. What do you do next?
Oh, the detective. Right. So there's another thread I want to weave in here. Slight change in story. Before the cop enters back into his cop car, he pauses and wants to ask if we did meet a detective earlier, the one who got shot much earlier in the story. What was his name? Detective. Let's see. Bio? Frankie. Detective Frankie. I hope I remember that.
As
Yep.
the officer places a hand on the door of his cruiser, he pauses, turning back to you with a curious look. "Hey, one last thing," he says. "Earlier tonight, did you happen to meet a detective? Frankie Morales, Pueblo PD. He was the one who got shot in the foyer." His tone shifts slightly, carrying the weight of the question.
Oh.
"He didn't make it, in case you didn't know. Just wondering if you
Uh,
spoke to him before, well, before everything went to hell."
huh.
What do you do?
That's a shame.
1. Admit that you spoke briefly with Detective Morales and share what little you know. 2. Say you only saw the aftermath and didn't meet him directly. 3. Claim you don't know anything about the detective to avoid further questioning. 4. Ask why he's asking, deflecting the focus back onto the officer. 5. Write in.
I mentioned I spoke to him briefly as he was in the room next door, and I helped him after he was shot. I probably shouldn't have said that.
The officer nods slowly, absorbing your words. "Yeah, Frankie always was one to jump into the middle of things. Sounds like he was trying to do the right thing, even up until the end." His voice carries a tinge of regret. He shifts his weight, glancing at the ground. "Thanks for helping him, even if it wasn't enough. That kind of thing, it matters." He looks back up at you, his expression somber but sincere. "All right, that's all I needed to know. Stay safe out there." With that, he turns and gets into his cruiser, the engine rumbling to life. The snowfall swirls softly as the patrol car begins to pull away, leaving you alone in the quiet of the lot. What do you do next? 1. Reflect on the interaction and Detective Morales' sacrifice before heading out. 2. Get into your car and drive away immediately, ready to leave this nightmare behind. 3. Double-check your belongings and the area one last time before departing. 4. Pull out the leather-bound book to examine its contents
The
before
book.
leaving.
Okay,
5. Write in.
so persuade. Yep, that was our last. All right, I'm gonna have to mark that Detective Morales, Frankie Morales, is dead. DED dead, unfortunately. Brief exchange we had. Um, let's see. I recall the book. I walk back to my vehicle, open the duffel bag on the passenger side, and look at the book. Anything strange happens to it.
As you sit in the car and open the duffel bag, the leather-bound book feels heavier than before, as though it's soaked up more than just the rain. The damp cover glistens faintly, almost as if it's alive. The etchings on the spine pulse faintly in the dim light, and the air in the car grows unnervingly still, the snowfall outside muffled to silence. When you open the book, a faint, otherworldly scent wafts out,
Ooh.
a mix of decayed earth and something metallic.
Uh-oh.
The pages, though water-stained, seem unnaturally preserved. Strange, twisting symbols and diagrams fill the first few pages, accompanied by handwritten notes in a language you can't fully comprehend.
Uh-oh.
Roll Cthulhu Mythos or Occult to discern anything meaningful from the book. Alternatively, roll Sanity to see how the experience of handling it affects you.
Rolled 5. I got nothing. Sanity. All right, here we go. We're gonna roll for sanity. 50 exactly. I rolled a success for sanity.
Despite the unsettling nature of the book, you manage to steel your nerves and push through the creeping unease. The pulsing symbols, the eerie weight of the pages, and the strange scent don't overwhelm you as they might have before. Your mind holds steady, though a lingering discomfort remains. The book seems dormant for now, though you can't shake the feeling that its contents hold far more than meets the eye. Whatever rituals or knowledge it contains are likely tied to the cult and the supernatural forces you've encountered. What do you do next? 1. Continue examining the book to glean more information, roll occult or library use. 2. Close the book and put it away, deciding to deal with it later. 3. Burn or dispose of the book immediately, fearing its influence. 4. Start the car and leave the Grey Inn with the book secured in your bag. 5. Write in.
I have an idea. Another story change. I put the book away, zip up the duffel bag, turn on the car, headlights turn on, and right in front of the car is almost a zombie form of the cult leader standing in front of me, in front of the car. It just appears.
You zip up the duffel bag, securing the book inside, and start the car. The headlights flash on, piercing the snowy darkness, and there, standing directly in front of the car, is the grotesque figure of the cult leader. His face is pale and bloated, water dripping from his tattered robes as if he'd been dredged from the depths. His eyes are vacant pits, but his lips twist into a grotesque semblance of a grin. His movements are slow and jerky, as though his body resists every motion. The leader raises a hand, pointing directly at you, his mouth opening wide in a soundless scream. What do you do? 1. Slam the car into reverse, trying to put distance between you and the figure. 2. Accelerate forward, attempting to drive through or past him. 3. Honk the horn and try to scare him off or alert someone nearby. 4. Grab your duffel bag and abandon the car, fleeing on foot. 5. Write in.
I try to start the car, I try to drive or reverse, but the car dies out. Any skill for this one? Probably auto or drive. Mechanic.
To determine if you can get the car running again, roll mechanical repair or drive auto to assess and potentially fix the issue under pressure.
Drive auto.
Let me know the result.
Let's do drive auto. 20. Ooh, 84 fail. Okay. Let's see. I keep forgetting if I. Nope, sanity. Okay. I failed a roll for drive auto.
You turn the key again, but the engine sputters and dies, refusing to roar to life. Panic wells up as the pale, jerking figure of the cult leader slowly starts advancing toward the car, his soundless scream seeming to resonate in your very bones. The headlights flicker, as if the car itself is succumbing to whatever supernatural influence surrounds you. The icy chill in the air intensifies, and frost begins creeping up the windshield. What do you do next?
Wow.
1. Grab your duffel bag and flee the car on foot into the snowy night. 2. Stay inside the car, attempting to barricade yourself and hold out. 3. Search for something in the car to use as a weapon, spot hidden. 4. Try starting the car one more time, desperation taking over, luck roll. 5. Write in.
I have a knife. I don't have the gun from earlier. We gave that up, I believe. Yep. I'll try to lockpick the zombie. We'll use the knife. I'm gonna burst out of the car. Okay. Facing my fear, I'm going to step out of the car with my knife and try to fight or push away the cult leader. Man.
You grab your pocket knife, heart pounding, and step out into the cold, snowy night to confront the shambling, grotesque figure. Its bloated face twists into a more menacing expression as you approach, the frost around it intensifying. The creature seems almost pleased that you're facing it directly.
Don't
It
forget,
lunges toward you, its movements jerky but unnervingly quick.
risk taker.
Roll Fighting Brawl or Dex to determine if you successfully fight back or evade its attack.
Fighting brawl. That will be our 670s. Of course, I'm actually a really good fighter and a smart character too, apparently. Fighting. So it's any 6 or less. 48. I rolled a success for fight brawl, which I have to now check. Nope. Yeah, I won't be able to say it.
As the cult leader lunges toward you, you hold your ground, gripping the pocket knife tightly. With a precise motion, you slash at the creature's outstretched arm, the blade cutting through its bloated, icy flesh. A strange, darker core seeps from the wound, and the creature recoils, staggering backward. It lets out a guttural, unearthly wail that echoes through the snow-filled night. The sound shakes you to your core, but the creature's hesitation gives you a moment to act. What do you do next? Press the attack, aiming to finish it off with another strike, fighting check. Use the opening to flee, running into the night with your duffel bag. Shout at the creature, demanding to know why it's haunting you, intimidate check. Look for something in the immediate area to gain an advantage, spot hidden. Write in.
Well, what can I do here? Let's see. A couple of options. No, this is not a. There you go. Okay, so just I doubt that will really do any much, but what will my character do here? What would Albert Chambers do? The creature is it's physically present. It's not an illusion. So knowing it's actually present, it's physically present. Should I roll for sanity, knowing what I'm witnessing is real this time, not an illusion or a mind trick?
Yes, since you're now certain that the creature is physically present
Right.
and unnatural, you should roll sanity to determine how your mind copes with this horrifying reality.
Fumbled.
Let me know the result.
Yeah, I figured. Nice. I fumbled. 97.
Yes, since you're now certain that the creature is physically present and unnatural, you should roll sanity to determine how you... You lose 3 san as the horrific nature of the creature takes its toll on your mind.
Let's replay because it messed up with that little Python
You lose
coding.
3 san as the horrific nature of the creature takes its toll on your mind.
Well,
Though shaken, you're still capable of acting, barely holding on to your sense of self as adrenaline surges. What do you do next? 1. Attack the creature again, determined to fight through the fear,
Yes.
fighting check. 2. Attempt to flee, your instincts screaming for survival. 3. Drop your knife and try to plead or reason with the creature. Search for something nearby to help you escape or fight, spot hidden. 5. Write in.
on the side. Maybe he just wants the book. I yell at the creature, asking if he just wants the book.
Your voice cuts through the snowy night, trembling but defiant. Is this about the book? Is that what you want? The creature halts for a
All
moment, its
politely.
grotesque form swaying unnaturally. Its empty eyes lock onto you, and it lets out a guttural growl. In a voice that seems to echo from some far alien void, it rasps, "The book cannot leave. Its secrets are not for you." The air around you grows colder, frost creeping along the ground toward your feet as the creature steps closer again, its intent still unclear but its presence undeniably menacing. What do you do?
Oh, I have an idea.
1. Throw the book out of the car, demanding the creature take it and leave you alone. 2. Refuse to give up the book, preparing to defend yourself, fighting check. 3. Attempt to reason further, offering to leave the book behind at the hotel, persuade check. 4. Use this moment to flee, leaving the creature behind in the parking lot. Now 5, right in.
I have another story hack moment. While this squabble is happening, the employee we met earlier inside with the money steps outside from the lower first floor back entrance to take a smoke break, and he sees what's happening. Does he notice the creature? Thought that might be a little interesting turn here. That's fast.
Your story hack unfolds. The hotel employee who accepted your bribe earlier steps out from the lower back entrance, lighting up a cigarette. He leans casually against the wall, exhaling smoke into the cold air. As his eyes adjust to the dim light and swirling snow, he freezes mid-drag, his gaze locking onto the grotesque, undead figure in front of your car. The cigarette slips from his fingers, landing in the snow. "What the?" he mutters, his voice a mix of shock and disbelief. His hand instinctively moves to his pocket, likely for his phone or something else. It's clear he sees the creature. What do you do? 1. Yell at the employee to get back inside before he becomes a target. 2. Use the employee's presence as a distraction to make your next move. 3. Call out to him for help, hoping he snaps out of his shock. 4. Stay quiet and observe how the creature reacts to the employee. 5. Write in.
What would he do here? I knew this was going to work. I love it. I'm glad I thought of it. I'm just trying to figure out what to do now on our character side, on the investigator side. I think we'll use this opportunity to escape with the duffel bag. If the creature is not looking at us, distracted by the employee, I'm going to take the duffel bag and run to the front of the lobby of the hotel. That might require a check, though.
The creature's head turns slowly toward the startled employee, its grotesque form now fully facing him. Taking advantage of its distraction, you grab your duffel bag and sprint toward the front of the hotel lobby, your footsteps crunching loudly against the snow.
Hold on. Before I am able to get to the front of the hotel, should I do a skill check for trying to escape?
Yes, a skill check would make sense to determine if you can
Stealth.
successfully escape without the creature noticing or catching up to you.
Dexterity.
Roll Stex for a clean getaway, or Stealth if you want to move quietly to avoid detection. Let me know your result.
I think Dex just because I think stealth is just out the window right now. So 65 or less. Oh, is there a difficulty? Is there a difficulty? Because of the snow. Regular.
The default difficulty for most rolls is regular, meaning you need to roll equal to or under your skill value. However, given the circumstances, a distracted creature and snowy terrain, the difficulty could be
Let's do
interpreted
hard.
as regular. Creature is
40
distracted, but you're carrying a
32 or
duffel
less.
bag and moving quickly.
Yeah.
Hard. If the creature notices you mid-escape, reacting quicker than expected. If you roll a success under hard,
Okay, so we'll do hard. 32 because the snow, big duffel bag, creatures there. 32 or less. 95. God dang it. I rolled a 95. Is that a fumble? Of course I rolled 95. See, I'm not lying. I'm reading what I'm rolling.
Yes, rolling a 995 is likely a fumble unless your skill is 50 or higher. A fumble occurs when you roll 96 to 100 for
40-minute mark, I
skills below
remember that.
50,
The submarine.
100 for skills 50 or higher. If your
Uh,
dex or stealth is below 50, this is a fumble. Let me know if it applies, or I can narrate the consequences based on the worst-case scenario.
I don't often upload shorts, but I think that's worth it. So 40 minutes is when that funny, whatever that was, the AI is in a submarine somewhere. It's probably the one that Tom Cruise is looking for in the next sequel of Mission Impossible. Okay, so it is 50 or higher. Okay, it is 50 and it is higher than 50.
Since your skill is 50 or higher, rolling a 95 is not a fumble, just a failed roll. While you don't make a clean getaway, the consequences won't be as catastrophic as they would with a fumble. Here's what happens. As you sprint toward the front of the hotel, the snow makes your footing unsteady, and your duffel bag shifts awkwardly. The sound of your hurried movements catches the creature's attention. It snaps its head away from the employee and lets out a guttural screech, its jerky movements accelerating as it starts to give chase.
Oh, chase.
You're close to the front entrance, but the creature is now pursuing you. What do you do next? 1. Push through to the lobby door, shouting for help as you go. 2. Turn and confront the creature, ready to fight.
Chasing is a
3.
thing.
Attempt to lose it by zigzagging or taking a detour around the building deck's check. 4. Drop the duffel bag as a distraction and continue running. 5. Right in.
Chasing is a rule mechanic in the game, but to be honest, in this part right now, I'm actually just going to throw the book into the forest or into the woods to distract it and keep it because I want to keep the money. The book is not worth holding if it spawns these grotesque creatures out of nowhere. I think quick and I want to toss the book in a random direction, possibly into the woods to distract the creature so I can keep the duffel bag of money and continue escaping. Nope. 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 Okay.
You make a snap decision, unzipping the duffel bag just enough to grab the leather-bound book. With all your strength, you hurl it toward the nearby woods, its dark cover vanishing into the swirling snow and shadows of the trees. The book lands with a muffled thud somewhere in the distance. The creature freezes mid-chase, its grotesque form turning sharply toward the direction of the tossed book. It lets out another guttural wail, seemingly compelled by the book's presence, and jerks its body toward the woods, abandoning its pursuit of you. The path to the front of the hotel is now clear. What do? Sprint to the front entrance and get inside before the creature returns. Take a moment to catch your breath and watch the creature retreat into the woods. Head toward your car to regroup, now that the creature is distracted. Slip inside the hotel lobby quietly, blending in with the guests and staff. Right in.
What? I mean, if I stay in the hotel, I'm a sitting duck. But if I run down the hill in the snow, I could possibly. Oh, I have another story flex here. As I make my way around to the front of the hotel, I see another cop car. It's the other partner, the police officer who was suspicious of my activity from the roof. Here we go. Make it more interesting. Officer Murray.
As you round the corner to the front of the hotel, you spot another patrol car idling near the entrance. Standing outside, it is Officer Murray, the one who had earlier questioned your actions and seemed skeptical of your explanations. His sharp eyes catch you immediately as you approach, his posture stiffening. "Hey!" he calls out, stepping toward you. His gaze flickers to the duffel bag slung over your shoulder. You're running around in the snow like a fugitive. Care to explain what's going on? His tone carries the same suspicion as before, amplified now by the fact that you're visibly shaken and covered in frost from your escape. What do you do? 1. Try to deflect by saying you're running to get help for the strange events outside. Fast talk, check. 2. Claim you're trying to leave because of the chaos earlier. Persuade, check. 3. Mention the creature and lead him to the woods to distract him further. 4. Stay silent, acting confused and scared to avoid further questioning. 5. Write in.
I won't mention the creature, but I will mention that there's someone chasing me and that they fled into the woods, and I point back in the direction where I threw the book.
Officer Murray narrows his eyes, his
Yes.
expression skeptical, but not entirely dismissive. Someone chasing you? In this storm? He glances toward the direction you're pointing, the woods behind the hotel, now blanketed in darkness and swirling snow. His hand instinctively moves to his holstered firearm. All right, he says cautiously, but if you're playing games with me, I'm not going to be happy. He radios into his partner, describing a possible suspect heading into the woods. As he speaks, his gaze flicks back to you and your duffel bag. And what's in the bag? You look like you're running from more than just trouble. What do you do? 1. Deflect, saying it's just your belongings because you're trying to leave town. Fast talk, check. 2. Insist you're telling the truth and that the bag is irrelevant to the situation. Persuade, check. 3. Offer to let him check the bag to avoid further suspicion, hoping he won't notice the cash.
He'll notice the cash.
4. Suggest he focus on the woods and deal with your questions later. 5. Write in.
I tell him the bag is just dirty laundry and to focus on the individual out in the woods. And then suddenly, the employee walks towards us in disbelief, possibly mentally shook for what he witnessed. I'll throw that in there.
Officer Murray furrows his brow at your quick explanation. Dirty laundry, huh? He mutters, unconvinced but clearly distracted by your urgent tone and the situation. Before he can press further, the hotel employee emerges from the nearby back entrance, staggering toward you both. The employee looks pale, his eyes wide and darting nervously between you and the officer. His hands tremble as he lights another cigarette, but the lighter slips from his fingers into the snow. I saw it, the employee stammers, his voice shaking. It wasn't human, it was something else, out there. He points weakly toward the woods. Officer Murray's head snaps toward the employee. What are you talking about? He demands, stepping closer. The officer's suspicion now shifts from you to the employee, who looks like he's barely holding it together. What do you do? 1. Use the distraction to slip away quietly toward your vehicle or another safe spot. Stealth check. 2. Back up the employee's claim, saying you saw someone dangerous in the woods too. 3. Stay silent and let the officer focus entirely on the employee. 4. Suggest Officer Murray investigate the woods while you and the employee head inside to safety. 5. Write in.
While they are talking, the creature finds the book out in the woods. What happens? That's a lot.
As the officer interrogates the visibly shaken employee, a sudden, bone-chilling wail pierces the snowy night. The sound echoes from the direction of the woods, carrying an unnatural resonance that makes the air feel heavy and oppressive. The creature, now deep in the forest, has found the book. Its twisted form looms over the dark tome, its hands trembling as it lifts the leather-bound cover. The pulsing symbols on the spine glow faintly, as though responding to the creature's presence. The unnatural ichor that drips from its wounds begins to sizzle and steam upon contact with the book, which seems to absorb the liquid greedily. The forest grows eerily silent, and the snowflakes hang unnaturally still in the air as the creature begins a guttural, inhuman chant.
That's cool.
The book's glow intensifies, and faint whispers, almost imperceptible, begin to emanate from the woods like a chorus of ancient voices. Back at the hotel, both the officer and the employee freeze mid-conversation, their heads snapping toward the direction of the whale. Officer Murray's hand moves instinctively to his gun. "What the hell was that?" he says, his voice tense. "What do you do?" 1. Insist it's coming from the person in the woods and urge the officer to investigate. 2. Pretend not to know anything and stay quiet, watching what they do next. 3. Suggest getting inside the hotel immediately, using the distraction to plan your next move. 4. Act concerned and volunteer to help the officer investigate the woods. 5. Write in.
I shout at the officer, telling him what this thing is and to shoot it down. It is not natural.
Your voice rises, sharp and filled with urgency. "It's not natural. Whatever's out there, it's not human. Shoot it down before it does something worse." Officer Murray stares at you, his skepticism briefly giving way to confusion and fear. He grips his gun tighter, glancing between you and the dark tree line. The eerie whispers grow louder, almost audible now, though their source remains unseen. "What the hell are you talking about?" Murray snaps, his voice shaky. "Is this some kind of joke? What's out there?" The employee stumbles back, visibly panicking. "I told you. I saw it. It wasn't human. It wasn't alive. Oh God, it's coming back." He points wildly at the woods, his cigarette dropping into the snow again.
He's dropping
The
his
officer
cigarette.
hesitates, clearly torn between disbelief and the mounting tension in the air. "What do you do?" 1. Grab the officer's arm and try to drag him toward the woods, demanding he see for himself. 2. Insist that both the officer and the employee get inside the hotel before it's too late. 3. Offer to help the officer investigate, hoping to convince him through action. 4. Leave the officer and employee behind and make a break for your vehicle. 5. Write in.
The creature, using the power of the book, suddenly spawns shadowy vines capable of grabbing us. How can we react and what skill required? Interesting.
As the creature taps into the book's power, shadowy vines erupt from the snowy ground near the hotel, writhing unnaturally and reaching toward you, the officer and the employee. The air grows colder, and an unnatural hum fills your ears. The vines lash out, attempting to grab hold of anyone in their path. To react: 1. Dodge. Roll dex to evade the vines and avoid being grabbed. 2. Strength test. If grabbed, roll strut to break free from their grip. 3. Attack. Roll fighting, brawl, or use a weapon to cut or tear the vines. 4. Luck roll, for improvised or
No luck.
instinctive movements to avoid entanglement. 5. Occult. Roll occult to understand the supernatural force and attempt to counteract
I
it.
just sit there analyzing.
Let me know what action you'd like to take.
Interesting. I wonder what kind of supernatural phenomenon this is. Probably dodge. I think dexterity is the most logical thing. Now, if I use dexterity, what will be the difficulty?
The difficulty for a dex roll would depend on the circumstances. Regular, if the vines are emerging close by but you have room to react and dodge.
Regular.
Hard, if the vines are erupting right underfoot or moving particularly fast,
I rolled a 1.
limiting your time to evade.
I rolled a perfect
Extreme,
1.
if the vines are already partially entangled.
Yep. I rolled a perfect 1. Not lying. I rolled a perfect 1. 001. Wow.
With a critical success on your dex roll, you react with perfect timing and agility. As the shadowy vines burst from the ground, their movements erratic and sinister, you instinctively leap back, evading their grasp with fluid precision. Not a single vine comes close to touching you as you position yourself out of their reach. Your movement is so precise that even Officer Murray and the employee take notice. The officer, now visibly shaken, stumbles as the vines lash toward him, but your quick reaction draws his attention. "What the hell is going on?" he shouts, trying to backpedal away from the writhing vines. The employee, meanwhile, screams as a vine snakes around his ankle, dragging him toward the ground. What do you do? 1. Help the employee by cutting or pulling the vine off him, fighting or STR check. 2. Shout for Officer Murray to shoot the vines while you stay clear. 3. Use this moment to warn the officer again about the unnatural force at work. 4. Run toward the hotel entrance, leaving them to fend for themselves. 5. Right in.
What would we do here? Risk taker, probably going to help. This is really getting out of hand. Let's see, but exactly as I wanted it to. So, I urge Officer Mary once again to shoot the vines grabbing the employee. However, do the vines also grab the officer? Oh, I said Mary. Whoops, Murray.
With a critical success on your dex roll, you react with perfect timing and agility.
Yeah.
The shadowy vines lash out erratically, and while Officer Murray manages to avoid their initial strike, one vine snakes around his leg, yanking him slightly off balance. His gun wavers as he struggles against the tendrils tightening around him. You urgently shout, "Shoot them! Shoot the damn vines before they drag him under." Murray hesitates, panic flickering in his eyes as he tries to regain control. If he attempts to fire, I'll roll for his firearms skill.
So he needs a stat.
Let me know if you want to assist or take further action.
There's not much I can do, so I'm going to stand back and watch. Gripping my bag. Like what can I do? I mean, jump in the way? Okay, so he's rolling.
Officer Murray grits his teeth, steadies his trembling hands, and fires a shot directly at the vines gripping the employee. The bullet strikes true, severing the tendril and causing it to writhe and dissipate into a shadowy mist. The employee scrambles backward, panting and pale, but free from the vine's grasp. The officer quickly shifts his aim to the vine coiled around his own leg and fires again. The shot lands, and the shadowy tendril recoils, releasing him. Murray stumbles back, his gun still raised, as the vines around the area begin to retract slightly, as if regrouping.
Yeah.
He looks at you, his face pale and drenched in sweat.
Don't blame me for this.
What the hell is this? What did you bring here? The employee, trembling, mutters, We have to get out of here. This place is cursed." The vines, though momentarily retreating, still pulse ominously in the snowy ground. What do you do?
Okay, so I'm going to... Oh no! Lost everything. Alright, 1 second, guys. That scared me for a second. One blank. Okay, so Officer Murray is blah blah blah. Alright. I yell to the officer that I think that is the cult leader that I knocked off the roof.
You shout over the chaotic scene, gripping your duffel bag tightly. "It's the cult leader, the one I knocked off the roof. This has to be him. He's using whatever dark power they were summoning." Officer Murray's face twists in disbelief and horror. "You're telling me that thing survived?" He looks back toward the woods, where the faint, eerie glow of the book's influence pulses in the darkness. The whispers grow louder, filling the air with unnatural tension. The employee stammers, still on the ground. If it's him, he's not human anymore. He's something else. We can't fight that. The vines begin to stir again, regaining strength and reaching toward you all once more. What do you do? 1. Urge everyone to retreat into the hotel and block off the entrance. 2.
Fire.
Tell Officer Murray to focus on the woods and destroy whatever's powering the creature.
The book.
3. Use the moment of distraction to escape with your duffel bag. 4. Search for something nearby to hold off the vines or defend yourself, spot hidden. 5. Right in.
Can I see the book from this distance? Roll a check.
From your position near the hotel, you can't clearly see the book itself, but you can make out its faint glow deep within the woods. The eerie pulsing light seems to emanate from where you threw the book, and it's unmistakably tied to the supernatural disturbance around you. If you want to get a clearer view or interact with the book, you'd need to move closer into the woods. For now, the glow serves as a haunting reminder of the power the creature is wielding. What do you do? 1. Urge the officer to focus on the glow in the woods and investigate it. 2. Attempt to approach the woods cautiously to assess the situation. 3. Stay near the hotel, watching for any further movements from the vines or creature. 4. Suggest retreating into the hotel to regroup and plan your next move. 5. Write in.
As we are in the parking lot, his other cop partner with the separate police vehicle who left earlier quickly rushes the creature with this cop car crashing into it out of nowhere. Oh darn, didn't get that. Oh well.
The tense air is shattered by the roar of an approaching engine. The headlights of the second patrol car slice through the snowy night as it speeds toward the glowing woods. The car doesn't stop. It barrels directly into the grotesque figure of the cult leader, slamming into it with a sickening crunch. The creature is hurled backward by the impact, crashing into the snow. For a moment, everything goes silent as the vines around the parking lot seem to recoil, their writhing motions slowing. The second officer, visibly shaken but determined, steps out of the car, his weapon drawn. "I don't know what the hell that thing is," he shouts, but it's not walking away from that. The cult leader's broken form lies motionless in the snow, but the glow from the woods intensifies. The whispers grow louder, more frantic, as if the book is reacting to the attack. What do you do? 1. Rush toward the creature to make sure it's finished, ready to fight if necessary. 2. Urge the officers to focus on the glow in the woods and destroy the book. 3. Use the distraction to slip away quietly with your duffel bag. 4. Warn everyone to stay back, fearing the creature isn't truly defeated. 5. Write in.
I yell at everyone to stand back, while also asking the cop how did he know to come back. And apparently, the officer Murray, who was helping us, his radio was stuck on, so his partner heard the entire commotion. If that's even possible, the radio button gets stuck.
You yell at everyone, "Stand back! Don't get too close, it might not be finished." Your voice echoes over the snowy parking lot as everyone hesitates, keeping their distance from the crumpled form of the cult leader. Turning to the officer who drove the patrol car into the creature, you ask, "How did you know to come back?" The officer, still catching his breath, shouts back, "Murray's radio was stuck on. I heard everything. The screaming, the talk about vines, whatever the hell this thing is." He glances nervously toward the glowing woods. "I didn't think twice. I knew you'd need backup." Officer Murray exhales sharply, looking down at his radio with a grimace. "Lucky for us, I guess." The glow from the woods pulses brighter, and the whispers escalate into a near-deafening hum. The cult leader's body twitches slightly in the snow, as if still tethered to the dark power of the book. What do you do? 1. Tell everyone to retreat into the hotel immediately. 2. Suggest the officers focus on destroying the glow in the woods, possibly the book. 3. Move cautiously toward the cult leader to ensure it's not regenerating. 4. Take advantage of the distraction to slip away with your duffel bag. 5. Write in.
I think I'm going to close the episode, this session off, but I want to get info on these two cops. Let's see. What were the names of these two police officers for my records? Let's see. IO.
For your records, here are the names of the two police officers. 1. Officer Murray, the skeptical and cautious officer who questioned you earlier. 2. Officer Pike, The more action-oriented officer who drove the patrol car into the cult leader. Let me know if you need any additional details.
Okay, so, here we go. Okay, oops. That's where we will close off this episode, this session. But basically, while I'm here, let's roll these two. So for persuade, I gotta roll 44 or higher. If I roll under, it goes up by 1. 77, okay, so it goes up by D10. 3, okay, that's not bad. 3 for persuade, 5, 6, 7. Okay, brawl, 76, I gotta roll 76 or higher. 7, goes up by 1. Actually, no, it doesn't go up at all. It's pretty high already, so that's it. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this session. This was amazing, very gripping. I'm glad we were able to. I like to, influence a story a bit, as this kind of is a solo RPG in a way, using AI. But that was very fun. I loved it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Till next time, thanks for watching.